listening to Sports Talk 916 with Greg Bull and Coach Greg Veroza.
If you'd like to participate in the show, there are a couple of ways to do it. If you want to contact us on Twitter, use the show's Twitter address, which is @SportsTalk916. For Greg B, go to @MrChief916. And for me, Coach Greg, it's @Greg Veroza. And Veroza is VAROZZA. And if you want to chat live with us, the best place to go is go to the Mixler page and hit chat. There you'll see all of us chatting together as the show goes on.
What is up, everybody? It is Sunday morning, June 4th, 10 a.m. This is episode 211. I am Greg Bull. That is TJ Longacre.
Hey now.
And we are going to get things started. We're doing a little bit of an early show, obviously, today. I've got some family obligations this afternoon that I didn't want to be rushed for time. So here we are. We didn't want to miss another week. So let's do it. So TJ, how are you, man?
I'm doing great. How are you, man?
Doing all right. It's been a busy weekend.
Yeah.
I'm sore as shit and tired and, but it comes with the territory. So
Indeed.
Let's see. A lot happened since the last time we had a show.
Very true.
The NBA Finals started. The NHL Stanley Cup Finals started.
Mm-hmm.
There are some discussions in the world of golf. The Indy 500 went down.
Yep.
There's been a lot. So let's just do it. So let's start with NHL playoffs. You're our hockey guy. You do all the resident hockey watching here. It is the
time overall.
Okay.
Yeah, they've won 4, and they could win a 5th this year.
Cool.
Yeah.
So the series right now is 2-1.
It's finally a series. My goodness.
2-1 Pittsburgh, correct?
Yes, it is. Yeah, Game 3 was last night. Nashville just looked very dominant at home last night. As they usually have throughout this postseason, and they've been blowouts throughout the entire series. The first 2 games in Pittsburgh were pretty lopsided in favor of the Pens, and then Nashville gets home and gets that good home cooking 5-1, and now they're back in this series.
Game 4 is tomorrow
night. Yeah,
tomorrow night
in Nashville.
We're watching the Women's College World Series.
Yes,
and,
we are.
Florida just went up 1-0.
Home run.
Yeah. So, I don't watch a lot of hockey. I did watch when the Sharks were in just because, I wanted to see, what was going on with them, obviously, being the local team. But after that, I really kind of toned it down a little bit on what I'm watching. But it is fun to watch. Hockey.
Especially playoff time. Oh, my goodness.
So what's your prediction how the series goes? You said it's been a blowout in every game. Do you think that continues? Do you think the teams are going to figure themselves out finally? Like, what's up with the...
I think, at some point these teams are probably going to be playing closer games. Maybe tomorrow night, maybe in Game 5, and perhaps if we get a longer series at that point. In the end, though, I see Pittsburgh winning their second cup in a row. They're that good. They're that experienced. Sidney Crosby, still at age 30, is at the top of his game.
Yeah, Crosby, even with all those concussions and all the stuff he had going on, he's still pretty damn remarkable.
He is remarkable. That whole team is remarkable.
All right. So that's pretty much what we have for the NHL playoffs. Let's jump over to the NBA Finals. The land where parity does not exist.
Yep.
It was the series everyone expected. It's the series everyone was waiting for. There really wasn't much to the intrigue going into the playoffs this year. Boston gave Cleveland 1 game. No one in the West beat Golden State.
Yeah.
Even had a chance at beating Golden State, except for maybe one of those San Antonio games. I think Golden State showed why they're the best team in basketball.
Yeah.
Or arguably the best team in basketball with that blowout win in Game 1. Let me ask you this. Does Cleveland have even a remote chance if they lose tonight in Oakland?
I wouldn't count them out, really. I mean, last year, the Warriors, they won Game 1, and we all know what happened after that. I think they have a shot. It's hard to say that they don't have a chance when we've seen them come back from large deficits before.
Right. So LeBron James has 3 rings.
Yes.
He's never won Game 1 in a series in which, let me rephrase that. He's never won Game 1 in the finals ever.
That's crazy.
But every year that he's won a championship, obviously, they lost Game 1 as well.
Yeah.
So you're absolutely right. You can't rule LeBron out. Oh, she stuck her elbow out, sneaky little bastard. You cannot rule out LeBron James and his team. You simply can't. The question is, how good will Golden State be when or if they technically lose their home court advantage tonight going back to Cleveland? Because the general idea behind everything is if Golden State wins these 2 games, they can lose the games to Cleveland. It won't matter. They'll just go back and essentially win their home games and cover. But as we found out a couple of years ago, that always isn't the case. I mean, LeBron went into, was it Game 7 in Oakland when they won it?
Oh, yeah.
and knocked them off. So is this a must-win for Cleveland tonight?
I would say it is, yeah. To get that series tied up at 1 and, get home court advantage back at home, to try and get some momentum from your home crowd and from the atmosphere there would be a tremendous advantage for Cleveland. Otherwise, if Golden State goes up 2-0 and Game 3 is in Cleveland, and then, Golden State wins Game 3, then you're staring elimination in the face. Remember, the Warriors haven't lost a game in the postseason.
Right. They're looking to be the first team ever to go undefeated in the final or in the playoffs.
Yeah.
The other fun thing that I found today online, and it was kind of intriguing, was this, and I'll read this to you.
Okay.
When you think about it, the Golden State Warriors need 4 Olympic medalists, 3 players averaging 20-plus points a game, 1 Defensive Player of the Year candidate, 2 MVP winners, one of which went back-to-back, and 2 all-time three-point shooters simply to beat a 32-year-old LeBron James.
Yeah.
Does that statement or that paragraph there pose a problem for the future of the NBA? That teams are literally stacking the way that they are to build going forward against other teams that are stacking. I mean, I wouldn't say Cleveland is super stacked right now. They're not like they were in Miami with LeBron.
Right.
But you have Kyrie, Love, James, Korver, J.R. Smith when he's playing good. Like, they do have a stacked team.
Right.
Does that pose a problem for the NBA going forward?
I think it does in many ways, especially if you're a team who has not been in the playoffs for 7 or 8 years, or even 11 or 12 years. That's trying to, get some good talent any way they can, and try and be successful. And all of a sudden, free agency hits, and these bigger clubs, so to speak, are targeting your free agents. And there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah. Let me ask you this question. This is kind of off topic a little bit, but if Cleveland wins, do you think there's a snowball chance in hell that Kevin Durant does not at least consider taking a smaller deal to go play with LeBron in Cleveland?
There's always a chance, absolutely.
Do you think he would chase the ring again? Like, do you think he would stay in Golden State and try to win one there, or do you think he chases the ring to Cleveland now?
He could go to Cleveland, absolutely.
So that goes back to, we'll go back to Golden State now, because all reports right now are that regardless of how things shake up, Durant expects to sign with Cleveland or with Oakland or Golden State. He has already said that he'll take a pay cut. He won't take a max deal if necessary to stay there. Golden State's kind of in trouble. And the reason why I say that is Curry's going to get a max this offseason.
Yeah.
Durant's in line for a max. If he doesn't take it, then that's good. But let's just say let's just play it out as he should. He gets maxed. Curry gets maxed. Next year, Draymond is up for a max.
Yeah.
And Klay's up for a max.
Uh-huh.
You can't max out 4 guys on your roster and expect to fill a bench. So, assuming Durant doesn't take a max deal, you're not getting rid of Draymond Green.
No.
Does Klay Thompson are we in a situation where Klay Thompson really becomes expendable?
I think he is, absolutely. He seems to be the weak link in the big four in my eyes. But yeah, you're right. You can't expect to have all 4 of these guys on a max deal. Either 3 of them get max deals and 1 of them goes away, or Kevin Durant, as you said, takes that hometown discount.
But put yourself in Kevin Durant's shoes. If you're willing to take a hometown discount, and a guy like Klay Thompson comes in a year later and isn't, how do you feel about that? Because if anyone's going to take a hometown discount out of those 4 players, it should be Thompson, not Durant or Draymond.
Sure.
I don't know. There's been a lot of talks about, people like, oh, the Kings should have tried to get Klay for DeMarcus and this and that or whatever. But in reality, the Kings aren't going to grab a player like that. Not in free agency, not via trade, because it's a rental at that point. He's not going to sign here.
Yeah. The Kings had an opportunity in 2011 to get Klay Thompson in the NBA draft, and they didn't do it.
Yeah, they drafted
Jimmer.
It was Jimmer in 11. Yeah, it's about that. So it's going to be interesting to watch the rest of the finals to see how that plays out. But then the offseason is going to be crazy.
Yeah, very crazy.
But what I like about the NBA is their offseason starts with the draft before free agency, as opposed to the NFL where you have free agency and then the draft. So there is a lot of speculation coming up. There's been a lot of mock drafts with crazy trade ideas for the Sacramento Kings.
I've seen them.
And we'll talk about it, but then I'm going to put water on the fire immediately and squash all hope. So right now there's a mock out on CBS Sports that has Indiana trading Paul George and their first round pick to Boston for number 1.
Ooh.
And a future pick and one player. They threw out a whole list of names that could be eligible for this trade. Basically telling Boston, hey, we're all in. We still have the number 1 overall pick next year, assuming that Brooklyn's still as terrible as they are.
Yeah.
And then the Lakers apparently still not being sold on taking Ball. A report came out yesterday that said if the draft were today, there's a good chance the Lakers don't take Lonzo Ball.
That's crazy. I also saw something that said the 76ers and Jerry Colangelo are very concerned about the people that are surrounding Lonzo Ball.
Well, yeah, you should be. His dad's number 1 on that list.
Yeah.
And then the third part of that mock was the Sacramento Kings trading 5 and Ben McLemore to Philly for 3 and Jahlil Okafor to be able to take
De'Aaron Fox?
To be able to get Fox, to lock in Fox. And everyone went crazy. Like, oh, that's a great idea. Do it in a heartbeat. Do it in a heartbeat. And here I come with my bucket of water to your flame of excitement. Can't happen.
Why is that?
Ben McLemore's a restricted free agent.
Oh, yeah.
And you can't execute a sign and trade before free agency.
Yeah.
Therefore, he can't be traded. From everything that I've read, he can't be traded. Now, if I'm wrong, I'd be happy to be wrong.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure you cannot trade a restricted free agent at the draft.
Sounds about right.
Hold on. NBA RFA. I'll just look that up right now and make sure. But
yeah.
So there's a lot going on there. Now, if that was possible, dude,
yeah,
hook it up. Sign me up for that. I will drive McLemore to the airport. I will pack his bags for him. He was already courtside at one of the playoff games earlier this year.
Yeah. I'll be in the car behind you picking up De'Aaron Fox.
Yeah, restricted free agents are still free agents, and you can't do anything with them until the free agency period begins. That includes trades. Now, this was back in 2015, so that may have changed in the new CBA. But let's just go by that, and let's just assume that's what it is. That's what I've been reading. That sucks. That really does suck. But so there's a lot of speculation about what could go down at 1 through 3. Monk is pretty much guaranteed to go 1. Depends on where.
Malik Monk?
Not Monk. I'm sorry.
Markelle Fultz.
Fultz. Guaranteed to go 1, no matter who's in that spot.
I agree.
Lonzo Ball, like we said last week, is still the coin flip. No one really knows what the hell's going to happen with him.
Yeah.
And then there's a lot of reports that the Sixers are high on Fox.
Yeah.
But a lot of people are trying to dig on that, and they can't determine whether or not they are big on Fox or they're trying to bait Vlade, who everyone knows is big on Fox, to put a package together and try to trade up. If we could put a deal together that got us Jahlil Okafor and the 3 for the 5, I don't know who we would be able to trade. I mean, the only real promising player that we could trade for in that position would be Malachi Richardson.
Yeah.
And he's coming off an Achilles. We got Buddy healed.
Yeah.
So he may be an expendable piece if you can go and get like Jackson at the 10. You know, that kind of fills that role. And I'm not sure that I would say no to that.
No.
But Malachi did show a lot of promise. Malachi showed a lot of things that, you know, may have got people excited.
Mm-hmm.
Do you trade 5 and 10 to move up to 3 to be able to guarantee you get Fox and an Okafor or you know a player of that potential caliber?
I would hang on to 10. I really would.
Do we have a second this year?
Yes, we do at number 34.
So would you trade 3 and 30 or 5 and 34 for Okafor and a 3?
Yeah, that'd be pretty good. I mean, second round picks usually are kind of
Except for Isaiah Thomas.
Well, yeah, he is the exception to that rule. But yeah, that would be pretty good. Or even as you just mentioned, trade somebody like Malachi Richardson or a player of like him.
I really can't think of who else to trade. Like the Kings waived Anthony Tolliver.
Yeah,
they're gonna most likely waive or buy out.
Oh wow, she's from Orangevale, California.
Nice. They're either gonna locally, look to buy out Aaron Flalo. You know, maybe you could work a trade with him.
Oh, there you go.
Send a veteran player out to Philly to help with that young roster.
I keep forgetting about Aaron Aflalo. He's just kind of like
because Aaron Aflalo's a bum.
Yeah, he was a buzz.
You know, I mean, Ben McLemore, like I said, would be a good piece to move, but he's a restricted free agent, which I don't think the Kings are going to tender an offer to him.
No. Whatever they do, just don't get rid of Garrett Temple.
Yeah, I don't think Garrett Temple has any concern about leaving. I think he's one of the big pieces they want to keep around.
Yeah. Same.
So what do you do? I mean, hey, what's up, Rosa?
Great.
We'll ask Rosa this. So we were just talking about that mock draft that was put out by CBS Sports that said trade the 5 and Ben to Philly for 3 and Okafor. And I told TJ I'm going to be the bearer of bad news and dump water on that fire because you can't trade a restricted free agent during the draft. And you can't do a sign and trade. But, Greg, would you take Okafor and the 3, and this is Jahlil Okafor and the 3, for the 5 and Malachi Richardson to ensure that you get De'Aaron Fox? And we'll just wait because that's how good podcasting, good radio works.
Great radio.
That 8-second delay. There's really not anyone else. I mean, you're not going to get rid of Buddy Hield.
No.
Malachi's there. You're not going to get rid of. You don't have a point guard to get rid of. I mean, you have 2 point guards that are.
Yeah, Collison and Lawson, I think, are still going to be there.
He says maybe. Collison and Lawson, I think, are both going to be there. Fox, and if not, Fox and one of those guys are going to be there.
Yeah. Or maybe you trade one of those established guys.
Maybe. like I said, I would dangle a Flalo out as a worm for any fish that wants to bite. I don't think anyone's going to want him. But then you have to think about, Greg, the other option was the 3 and the 34 for a Flalo or Okafor and the 3. The 5 and the 34.
5 and 34,
for Okafor and the 3. I don't know that Philly would do that without getting a player. But it is a big salary dump. I mean, that's a lot of money the Kings would be taking on for Okafor. I mean, he's a number 1 overall pick.
Yeah.
The other option, though, is if everything falls the way it's supposed to, Fox falls to 5, we get Fox, and then what do you look for at 10? Do you look to trade back? Because one of those trade scenarios had, so the 3 wasn't going to happen, but then the other option was the Pistons trade with the Kings at 10. They take Malik Monk at 10, if he's there, obviously. The Kings get the 12th pick, so you're only moving back 2 spots.
Yeah. And
you get Michael Gibadini, who the hell that guy is.
I have not heard of that person.
It says, from what I read on that, he's a pure shooter. You know, he's a good spot. What's up, Oscar Zepeda? On the drive to beautiful Salinas. God damn, that drive sucked. What do you look for at 10? Do you look
10?
for a small forward? Do you look for another point? Do you just go best available? I mean, we already have 14 bigs.
Yeah. I would maybe get Zach Collins or if one of those small forwards is there.
If Josh Jackson is there, do you jump on him?
Yes, because that means he's fallen really far. Because I think Josh Jackson's a top 3 pick.
Well, this mock has Malik Monk falling all the way down to 12. I mean, do you see that happening?
No. I don't see him falling any further than 8 with New York. I think he goes to the Knicks. Or maybe you go with what's that guard out of Louisville? I forget his name. Oh.
I can't think of his name either. But,
yeah.
I mean, how much faith do you have in Vlade going into this draft? I mean,
some.
He has to hit a home run.
He does.
He has to hit 2 home runs, essentially.
Yeah. I have some faith. I have a lot more faith than I did in him a year ago.
True.
Especially since he's got the 5 and the 10 picks, and I think he knows that he has to get this right.
I mean, Oscar could tell me. I'm sure he has it memorized. He's driving, so I don't want him to be typing, but he can hand the phone to his wife. Oscar, how many days are left on the Vlade Divac? He hit a triple last year. I agree. He did hit a triple last year with the Vlade trade, but the DeMarcus trade. It was the Vlade
himself.
trade. Yeah, it was the Vlade trade. But I mean, Oscar's been tracking the Vlade Divac countdown because he said if he's not good by this time last year or 2 times in 2 years he's gone.
Yeah,
he'll resign. So there's that as well. But I don't know. I'm worried about Vlade, but at the same time I feel like he's finally finding his stride.
Yeah.
What about that kid? Is it Nicotina?
Oh, Frank Ntilikina, yeah.
Yeah, from France, right?
I'd like him if they can't get De'Aaron Fox. I'll take that kid. He's been playing professionally for years overseas. He has a better shooting percentage than De'Aaron Fox. I'd be totally cool with that. Yeah,
apparently there's a lot of concern about Fox's jump shot. I guess there's a mechanical glitch in it.
Yeah.
Kind of a little bit of a twinge in his shot that people are concerned about.
Yeah.
They're also a little bit concerned about his size. I guess he comes in a little bit small. He's only 163 pounds.
Yeah.
They want him to be up around 180.
Yeah, there were a lot of concerns about another Kentucky guard like that. His name was John Wall. He turned out pretty good.
Yeah, he turned out okay.
Yeah.
There was another one too. Kyle Lowry. There was concerns about his jump shot. I mean, he can shoot the ball decent.
He's pretty good.
I think some people would throw some money at him.
I think the best scenario if Fox goes to Philly or even Phoenix, you draft a guy like Jason Tatum at 5, and then if Frank Ntilikina's there at 10, get him.
And then has there been any talks yet on what Bogdanovich is planning on doing? Has he come out and talked about it at all?
I haven't heard anything.
I remember he said he wasn't going to talk about it until the championship was over, the EuroLeague championships.
Yeah.
he wins the EuroLeague championship with his team, and still nothing. I would have loved to have seen Vlade on a plane the second that championship game ended.
Me too.
And sit down with the kid and see what's going on, or at least get him on Skype or whatever. I mean, Vlade's flip phone probably doesn't have Skype, but he could have borrowed someone's phone and got him out there. But so if Bogdan Bojanovic comes over, that's another basically draft acquisition.
Yes.
Of a player that's been playing professionally, another good piece. Obviously the Kings aren't going to be a playoff team, but it may finally be an exciting year should all the pieces fall into place.
Absolutely.
So we'll have to be extremely hopeful for that.
I'm pretty much, I think the perfect term for how I'm feeling about Vlade in this draft is cautiously optimistic.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Yeah. Cautiously optimistic. That's how I'm feeling about it.
And then there's other reports coming out. We'll get away from the Kings for a second. That the super stacking that we talked about a little bit earlier is going to continue. Did you see the report with San Antonio?
No.
So San Antonio apparently wants to heavily pursue Chris Paul in free agency.
Really?
And Chris Paul has multiple people that are close to him come out and say that he's mutually interested in joining San Antonio next year.
Wow.
If you put him with probably one more year of Parker as a backup,
yeah,
with Kawhi, with Aldridge,
yeah, with Gasol,
yeah, Powell's still there.
Ginobili's gone though.
Ginobili's going to retire.
Yeah,
but I mean that's another. I mean San Antonio, even with these old guys, were right there knocking on the doorstep.
Absolutely, they
you
were.
You put a player like Chris Paul there. Oof. Players are going to want to even go to San Antonio even more because that's another leader.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people give Chris Paul crap for not leading the Clippers through the playoffs, and I don't put any blame on Chris Paul.
No,
I put all the blame on Doc Rivers. Doc Rivers did not build a winning team. He built a flashy team.
Yeah.
He built an exciting team to watch.
Yeah.
But that is not a playoff winning basketball team. And I think Chris Paul he's the point guard. He's the quarterback of that team. So he's unfairly ridiculed for that team not succeeding.
Yeah.
But you put him with Pop and with the players that San Antonio already has, I think even Golden State, even if they retain Durant, has to look out for the Spurs should they build a team around Chris Paul and Kawhi Leonard.
That would be, in the West, that would be the Warriors 1 and then the Spurs 1A.
Yeah, there's really not much to it from there.
Absolutely.
And then I think Cleveland would need to be worried at that point too because, you're not going to bully around a team that's led, by Leonard and Paul with Popovich. I mean,
oh hell no.
That's going to be crazy.
That would be very amazing.
But I mean, at the same time, it's like you hear stuff like that, and you're like, "What the hell could our Sacramento Kings even do? What options would we even have?"
Yeah, it would be. I mean, the best option I'm hearing for them so far is Otto Porter Jr., which that'd be fine, but that's it. Really?
He's not going to put you in the playoffs, though.
No, hell no.
So, I mean, I would love Otto Porter Jr. I've watched him in Washington for a number of years. I think he's a damn good player.
Oh, me too.
I'm just not sure that Otto Porter Jr. is the first guy you go throw a bunch of money at.
No.
Because the Kings are going to have to overpay for him.
Yeah, which I wouldn't be comfortable with at all.
Right. So, we'll have to wait and see on that one for sure.
Yeah.
But, I mean, if you think about it in recent years, I'm not sure that there's been a better offseason than the first one, knowing that the Kings were still going to be here.
Yeah.
Even though we had zero shot of anything good that offseason, money-wise or anything.
Yeah, this is going to be a good one. I'm very much looking forward to it.
Absolutely.
It's going to be fun.
Let's loop full circle back to the NBA Finals. What's your prediction the way the rest of it wraps up?
I'm gonna say Warriors in 7.
You think it goes 7?
Yeah. That I think the league wants that.
I honestly think it could go 6, and for some reason, I really think Cleveland finds a way to pull it out in 6.
Okay.
I think they win tonight.
Okay.
I think they sweep. In Cleveland, and then I think the Warriors are just drained. And here's what I think
could be. Yeah.
And here's what I think is going to happen. Warriors are going to lose tonight. They're going to lose 2 games in Cleveland, and then Steve Kerr's going to try to come back and coach that last game because they're saying there's chances he may come back. And I think that with the new rotations that he's going to put in, because he doesn't run the same defensive rotations that Mike Brown runs.
Yeah.
He likes to run a little bit smaller. Hold on. No, it's this one. I'm like, what the hell's talking?
It's a Honda commercial.
I think that somehow Kerr comes back and screws it up.
He probably might.
And Cleveland wins in 6. That's my thought.
That would be very interesting to see if that happens.
So that's my prediction there. I wish the NBA draft was closer. It's still 19 days away now.
Yeah,
18 days away now. So 22nd, I believe it is.
The draft is the 22nd.
It needs to hurry. It needs to hurry.
Yeah.
Giants game's about to start. They're in Philly. It's Matt Moore versus Kendrick.
Yep.
The Giants need to score some runs. They had 9 runs. First game, they got shut out last night, or they might have won last night.
Plenty of good seats in Philadelphia, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like you could sit right next to those 2 chicks right there, right against the front row.
Oh yeah. I'm there.
Right. So let's talk a little baseball.
Yeah.
There was a no hitter yesterday.
There was
Edison Volquez no hit the Diamondbacks in Miami. There was a 600th home run. Albert Pujols hit a grand slam for his 600th home run, which is pretty cool to do it in that fashion.
I forgot he was still around.
Yeah, he's been quiet, but 600 there. Baseball, it's kind of a weird year. The A's are kind of slipping back down to the bottom. The Giants are bottom feeders. The Dodgers aren't playing great ball.
No.
Aaron Judge is a man among boys.
Crazy.
Right now in New York. The Houston Astros are the best team in baseball, which is weird.
That is weird because they had a down year last year.
They did have a down year. The Giants have a weird. They're on the weirdest roller coaster I've seen. They're scraping the bottom of the barrel, and then they come up and they play ball. We're like, oh look, they're back, and then they fall back down to the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, shit. On Friday night, Denard Span went 5 for 5.
5 for 6.
5 for 6. What should we call it? Nunez had like 3 hits.
Yeah. Austin Slater had his first hit.
Slater had his first hit. Ty Block took 3 walks.
That was pretty awesome.
He was almost the first player in 64 years to have 4 walks.
He almost
as a pitcher,
had a 4th one, yeah.
And it was a bad call by the umpire who just called a low strike, which wasn't a strike the entire night.
Yeah.
But then last night they come back and they shit the bed again.
They sure did. They had a 1-0 lead, and then the Phillies scored 5 runs.
Yeah, and then the River Cats aren't playing good ball. They can't seem to find their stride.
Same with the Richmond Flying Squirrels too.
Yeah, Squirrels aren't playing well. Hunter Pence got reactivated today.
Yes.
They sent Christian Arroyo back down to San Francisco or Sacramento. Arroyo started out on fire, and then he started to look like a 21-year-old or 20-year-old or whatever he is.
He is 21.
Up there, he just turned 21. He started looking like one of those kids in the big leagues. The game just got too much for him. It looked like he was pressing. He's still playing great defense, but his batting average dropped to like 160.
Ooh, yeah.
So he's back in Sacramento. We'll have to get out there and try to get it. Get some words with him and just get some footage on him or watching him last year or this year.
How's this for interesting? The Minnesota Twins had the worst record of all of baseball last year, and they're in first place in the Central, and they have the number 1 draft pick this year.
Wow.
Isn't that something?
That's crazy.
And then Milwaukee's doing pretty well too. The Cubs are not doing so hot this year. Mm-mm. They're at 500.
Yeah, coming out of that World Series slump.
Yeah. Hangover.
But let's talk a little bit about these Giants here. We're coming up on the midway points. I mean, it's weird to say, but the midway points coming. They're already talking basically All-Stars and voting and all this other stuff. At what point of the season there's Denard Span with out? At what point do you look at it and set the timer to blow it up, or start maybe not blow it up, but start looking for trade partners about moving some pieces around?
I'd say near the trade deadline. You kind of got to look at it and say, okay, are we? How far out of it are we? And, if we're that far out of it, it's time to say goodbye to some of these guys. Maybe like a Hunter Pence, maybe like a Johnny Cueto.
Well, Johnny Cueto already looks like he's going to opt out next year anyways. So
Yeah.
if you can move Cueto, I think you do it. And the reason why for that is you just don't want to lose him for nothing.
Yeah.
By that time, Bumgarner should be back. You can leave Block in the lineup, and then you're not dropping Block out.
What are the chances of a Samardzija going somewhere?
I don't know, but Eduardo Nunez just hit a home run.
Yes, he
did.
did.
1-0 Giants.
Okay.
I don't think you lose Samardzija. I don't think Samardzija wants to go anywhere.
No.
I don't think he wants to leave. I think you can move him back up into the 2-hole in the lineup in the rotation, and he'd be okay. But you ask, how far are the Giants out of it? I mean, they're already 12 games back of the Dodgers.
Yeah.
They're tied with San Diego for the worst record in our division, and then after that, it's not even close. So San Diego and San Francisco are both 23 and 34 right now.
Mm-hmm.
They're both 10.5 back of Arizona, who's in third place. They're 34 and 24. Well, I guess they're all technically tied for first. I mean, no, I'm sorry. They're
pretty
game
close,
and a half back.
yeah.
They're 12 games back of the Dodgers. They're 10.5 back of Arizona and
11.5 of Colorado.
And 11.5 of Colorado. You asked how far out of it are they? Is that? I mean, I know it's still June. Damn, it's June.
It is June, yeah.
I hurt like an eyelash.
Ooh. Ouch.
At what point is 12 games insurmountable? Is it July? I mean, if they don't close that gap,
Yeah.
if they don't cut that in half by July,
Yeah, I'd say so.
what's the trade deadline?
July 31st?
It is July 31st.
Yeah.
So they would have to be, I would say, at least 6, maybe 5 back. 8 may be like the breaking point
Yeah.
in order to look at July 15th and not start getting on the phones.
Yeah, I'd say so.
But do you really move 100 pence? I mean,
Maybe not Hunter Pence, but somebody tangible.
you're not going to touch the infield.
No.
You're not going to move anyone out of that infield. So
The outfield, maybe. I mean, as
Who?
desolate as it is.
the only name out there is Pence.
That's true. Yeah. Hard to say, really. Who do you think might go if somebody comes a calling?
Beatty,
Yeah.
Block.
Mm. The only reason I brought up Hunter Pence is
Quing.
because
I mean, it might be one of the lower AAA guys.
yeah. The only reason I brought up Pence is because he's been injury prone, and B, he is getting up there in age. I think he turns 34 this year.
Yeah, but Hunter Pence is one of those guys that finds ways to produce regardless of what's going on.
That's true.
And he's a clubhouse guy. You know, Bochy likes the clubhouse guys.
That's true.
Yeah,
It's hard to say who they would give up.
it's gonna be tough, that's for sure.
Yeah,
But
I think that's gonna be a tough thing for fans to swallow too.
yeah, but then again, too, the Giants may just oddly find a way to make it happen and make it work.
They might. That's what everybody's hoping for.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of what the Giants do. You know, they rally and they find ways to play.
Yeah.
2 outs. I'm still one that would say you can move Brandon Belt, even though he just got extended.
Yeah.
You know, move Belt for some nice pieces. I don't think you move Panic unless you wanted to find another third baseman and put Arroyo at 2. You know,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's going to be tough. But then again, there's always those teams that are at the deadline that are selling that you could literally get, you know, an all-star for nothing because
That's true.
baseball, you just swallow salary. And if you're willing to dump salary, then you're good with it.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I don't know. I hate talking about blowing a team up
Yeah, me too.
because this team, we've seen them rally from so far behind and come back and win. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, they don't need to catch the Dodgers. They only need to catch, you know, Colorado right now.
Yeah.
You know,
At least.
you know, so I mean, the wild card right now is Arizona and
Is it Arizona and Colorado? Yeah.
it is Arizona and Colorado. So
Yeah, you have to at least catch Arizona.
yeah, you just have to catch. You know, I mean, that's still 10 and a half games, but
Yeah,
maybe 2014 they won the World Series out of the wild card,
that's true.
and 12 they didn't.
They did. No, or
One
no.
of those two, or maybe both. I don't remember.
No, it was
anymore.
only 2014. Yeah.
So you get it out of the wild card. So what? The wild card's still the damn playoffs. You know what I
It
mean?
is.
Go for it.
It is.
But then you look at the A's. You go back up into the standings. Why is my computer being stupid? Come on. Oakland 24-31. So hey, A's fans, why don't you stop talking shit with your 436, win percentage? We're at 404. We've also
Yeah.
played 3 more games than you guys have.
Yeah, you guys are also 29th in overall attendance in the league. Good job on that.
Yeah, and you're 15 and a half back in first place. So, but they're only 5.5 games out of the wild card
That's
because
true.
the AL's playing like poo right now.
Yeah.
Um,
That whole division, the AL West, is garbage.
except for Houston, 40-16.
My
That's
God.
insane. They have the best record in baseball
Yeah.
by a long shot. I mean, 7-14, 630. Washington has a 630 win percentage, and that's the closest to them. And Washington is 34-20. That, to me, that's mind-boggling that the Houston Astros have won nine in a row.
It's amazing.
And they're 20-10 at home. They're 20-6 on the road.
If they make it to the World Series, that's going to be a huge advantage for them.
Being able to win on the road.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. If it was a Washington-Houston World Series, that'd be pretty neat.
That would be kind of fun.
Oh, I heard about this yesterday.
What's up?
Speaking of guys on the Nationals, Bryce Harper.
Uh-huh.
It's rumored that he may want to go to the Cubs after this season.
Really?
Yeah. Could you imagine that? That would be
Well, they're talking about Bryce Harper. If he ends up getting arbitration this year, they're looking at what are they looking at? They're looking at a $34 million, something like that, arbitration year
for 1 year.
For 1 year, highest pay. Or no, I'm sorry, it was 18.
Okay, 18. That's still pretty good.
That's still damn good for an arbitration year.
Yeah.
It's gonna be pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Baseball. I like baseball free agency though because they throw some big numbers out there. It's like monopoly money.
Yes.
Let's see. So we already talked about the no hitter. We talked about the 600th home run. Talked about the Giants a little bit.
Yeah.
Do we want to talk about Tiger Woods?
Sure.
Is Tiger Woods ever going to win a golf tournament again?
Not a major
Is he going to win a tournament?
tournament. Yeah,
You think so?
I think so. He'll probably be like 43, 44 years old, and all of a sudden, he has a magical Sunday somewhere, and he wins a tournament, but a major probably not. What do you think?
I think it's going to be 4 or 5 years before he even competes.
You think so?
Yeah, before he even competes for a tournament, making the final weekend, like you know what I mean, like making the Sunday cut.
Yeah.
I think Tiger is lost. He's broken. I mean, obviously he doesn't golf well. He's back. He's had 4 back surgeries.
Yeah.
And dude was lit up on 4 different types of painkillers and prescription meds.
That's a lot of medication to take for.
And then to drive
anybody.
and wreck an AMG.
Yeah. It's hard to come back from something like that.
Let's see here. Sorry.
It's okay.
I don't know. Tiger Woods is going to be one of those guys where it's sad.
He's had quite a fall the last 6 years.
Yeah, and more so the last year. It's been just insanity how far he's fallen.
His mugshot kind of says it all.
His mugshot was hilarious.
Yeah. I've seen a lot of memes made about that.
The best meme about it was Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. It was like a picture of super happy Tiger Woods, and I think it was like the fist pump Tiger Woods. It was like and then it was like Saturday normal shot, Sunday was like a blend of a normal and the mug shot. Then Monday was his mug shot.
I saw one that was Jets fans. September, it was the mugshot, and then January, the mugshot again.
Nice.
That was funny.
So, for those of you that care, and the 6 of you that might care, and the rest of you that don't, as you can see, there's some new gold over there.
Yeah, I saw that.
Tonight is WWE Extreme Rules, another pay-per-view. And this one's going to be kind of fun. This one is it's basically their rebirth of ECW, which is the Extreme Championship Wrestling that they used to do, barbed wire ropes and tacks and chairs and baseball bats wrapped with barbed wire. And,
wow.
I mean, if you ever want to see some gnarly crap, go on YouTube and pull up ECW matches. Those dudes.
Wow.
I mean, it was the land of extreme. That's what they wanted to do. It was the shock value.
Yeah.
So this is their homage to that. But tonight is the Extreme Rules pay-per-view, and we'll go over it real quick here to wrap the show.
Oh, we've got an update here.
What's up?
Ex-NBA player coach Derek Fisher accused of DUI after flipping car on a California highway.
Good job, Fisher. He's probably chasing Matt Barnes.
Just thinking that.
Probably like, oh crap, there's Barnes. That's crazy.
Wasn't Matt Barnes in the playoffs right now?
He is in the playoffs.
He is in the playoffs.
Matt Barnes is going to win a championship, according to you.
Oh goodness.
All right, so let's see here for the matches tonight. Can I have one that gives me the stipulations? Every match has a crazy stipulation to it tonight. So matches, here we go. So there is a fatal 5-way match, which is 5 guys at one time.
Whoa.
The winner is the number 1 contender for the Universal Championship held by Brock Lesnar. Wait, I can use the soundboard.
Brock Lesnar.
The funny thing about these matches is it's first person to get pinned loses, and the other person wins. So
okay,
basically, there's 3 other guys trying to prevent you from being able to pin this guy. So it's just like a free for all. It's Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, Finn Balor, Bray Wyatt, Samoa Joe. Should be pretty fun. There is a intercontinental title match between Dean Ambrose and The Miz. If Ambrose is disqualified, he will lose his title, which is rare. Disqualification usually saves your title. Tonight won't happen. Alexa Bliss versus Bayley for the championship, for the Raw Women's Championship. It's a kendo stick on a pole match.
Okay.
There's a pole about 5 feet above the ring in the corner that has a kendo stick hanging from it. First woman to reach that kendo stick gets to use that kendo stick as a weapon.
Ooh.
So there's that. There's a steel cage match for the Raw Tag Team Championship between the Hardy Boys and Cesaro and Sheamus. Phillies just tied the Giants 1-1. There is a submission match for the Cruiserweight Championship between Neville and Austin Aries. And there is a mixed tag team match between Rich Swann and Sasha Banks versus Noam Dar and Alicia Fox. So mixed tag is if the guys start in the ring and the female tags her teammate, they automatically have to switch to female versus female. They can't just have a dude whooping up on a chick.
Yeah, that's domestic violence, right?
Although back in the Attitude Era, before everything went PG, that used to happen.
That's true.
They used to have guy versus girl matches.
I remember when my brother was into wrestling in the early 2000s. Yeah, they would do that.
So I think tonight, Finn Balor ends up winning the Fatal 5-Way. He'll go on to face and lose to Brock Lesnar at the Great Balls of Fire pay-per-view, which is in a couple of weeks in July. I think the Hardys retain because it's a cage match, and they're not going to have them lose at a cage match. And I think for people that love her, I think Sasha Banks' heel turn happens tonight, and she goes to the bad guy's side.
Okay. How much does a pay-per-view event go for these days? Is it still $99.99?
No, so for a long time it was about $49.99
yeah.
for the longest time. Now a lot of them are exclusively on the WWE network.
Oh, okay.
They have their own network. It's $9.99 a month.
Oh, that's
and
not
you
bad.
You get to stream all the pay-per-views.
That's pretty cool.
And typically, if you sign up, you get a free trial for 30 days. So that
Nice.
includes whatever pay-per-views are in that 30-day trial. So it's pretty cool.
That's actually pretty neat.
Yeah. So there's that. Was there anything else you wanted to touch on? Any other fun stories, topics?
I think we're good.
All right. So that was our rendition of the 211th episode of Sports Talk 916.
Brunch edition.
Yeah, brunch edition. I'm hoping Greg Veroza gets to start partaking again soon. We'll start working him back in. Actually, one more thing I wanted to check. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I want to see how or if the Sirens had their game last night.
Oh, yeah. I was actually kind of wondering about them. Because I know they're in the playoffs.
We are in the playoffs.
Yeah.
I haven't seen anything on Facebook. Let me check Facebook again.
Yeah.
Final score. This was May 27th, so this would not have been last night's game. No update. So they did win their final home game 42-0 going into the playoffs. Giants are down 2-1.
Yep.
So there's nothing on there. What is the women's? What are the league they play in?
I think it's the WIFL.
How the fuck do you know that, dude?
I don't know.
Women's International Football League?
Yeah.
WIFL. Dude, you're on it.
I don't know how I know that, but I do.
They don't have a website, though. How do they not have a website?
They do not.
That's FIFA. I don't want FIFA. Yeah, they do. IWFLsports.home.com. Governor's State of State Award, National Championship. National Champions was Utah. No shit, last year. Schedule, playoff format. God, their website's fucking terrible.
Yeah.
This is so bad. Week 1 is done. Week 12. Week 11. No. See, that game's over. So they have a bye in week 11, which is this weekend.
Okay.
Next weekend they play at the North County Stars, which they beat recently.
They did.
North County Stars, they beat them.
It was like 48-0, I think.
It was a big one.
It was a big one. I remember
we
that.
did that game.
We did.
48-6.
That's right.
So they play them, and then they would play. They would play the winner of. They might have to play Utah again. Should that happen? And that's not good.
No, that team's freaking good.
So, yeah, we'll have to get an update from the Sirens to see how that goes. But,
yeah.
At least they made the playoffs this year. Last year, they did not win a game. So
Playoffs?
Did Nunez just take one off the shin?
Yes.
That's great. They just send down their backup third baseman, and now our guy gets plopped in the shin.
This is the story of the 2017 Giants.
Right. Pretty much. Went steal.
And he knocked into him.
He took a helmet off the shin.
Ooh. Let's see. Did he? Oh, yeah.
Well, he's out.
He's out. Ooh.
Ooh.
Right on the knee.
Right off the kneecap. That's a great spot to take a visor of a helmet.
Awesome. Those are sharp.
Yeah, so we teased a little bit ago. We were watching the Women's College World Series as well. It's 4-0 Florida in the bottom of the third inning against Washington. Nunez is still being attended to by David Greshner and Bruce Bochy. Mm-hmm. We won't give you an update on that because we are done. So for TJ and Greg Veroza, I am Greg Bull. This was episode 211. We will see you guys next week.